Hello everybody, and welcome to another flight sim video. Today I'm doing a VFR flight, unusual for this channel, but today this has been inspired by my trip recently to Duxford Imperial War Museum, where you get a lot of VFR traffic coming in, and also you get the heritage birds as well. So I was just over there over the weekend. I live not too far away in the town, or in the city of Peterborough, and this is one of my local airfields. This is called Sibson Airfield. This is default, however, there is a payware. Sibson is famous for being the home of Peterborough Skydiving Club and the Peterborough Flying Club. There are 3 runways here, but officially only 2 is used. And we're very, very close to RAF Wittering in that direction. Peterborough is in that direction. With the wind conditions as they are, we'll be taking off on runway 06 towards Peterborough. Now my plan for this flight is to fly from here in Sibson over the city of Peterborough, follow the East Coast Main Line down to the second airfield that serves Peterborough, which is Conington, do a touch and go, then follow the A1M and the A14 towards Cambridge, and then after that we'll follow the M11 all the way to Duxford. So we'll jump into the cockpit and we'll get the flight ready. First thing we need to do is set the batteries on. Batteries come on, and then we'll get the nav light on, beacon light on, fuel pump on as well. We'll get the mixture set to full, get the prop started, engine good start, and then we'll get the avionics on. Avionics bus 1 and bus 2. Now we'll just let our GPS start up before we get going. And I don't know what kind of we are just on a, so we've got the use of an autopilot, but we're probably not going to use that. We'll set our transponder to 7,000, which is the UK's so I'm not going to do any not really going to use this. I might use it for reference purposes only. So I might just open it up onto the maps. No GPS position. How do we set GPS position then? Well, because I haven't looked into how to use the Garmin 5300, we're just going to leave it as it is, but it's not a problem. I know my way visually for this anyway. So we will leave the fuel pump on for our takeoff. We'll do now a flight controls check. This is just to make sure that all the flight controls are loose and free. And they are, because the thing is with these aircraft, you don't really need to double check if everything is moving, because I mean you can always look outside as well. And because we're on a grass runway, we'll take off with 0 flaps. Taxi lights coming on now, and we'll just announce our taxi to a runway, which should be, let me just double check, we'll do a 06. Announce taxi.
Echo Golf Sierra Papa Traffic Cessna Golf Lima Uniform Kilo Echo is taxiing to runway 06.
So we made announcement. Our transponder is going to come on with 7,000 squat. There you go. Got to use quite a bit of power just to get off, and then we're just going to make a turn around here. Now we're moving. It's hard to see, actually, the ground where we can taxi on here. But I know my way roughly. So we're going to go up this way. So as I said, our plan is to fly east towards the city of Peterborough. Fly over the city of Peterborough. Perhaps I can tell you about some of the sites over there as well. So we're going to taxi all the way to the end. I'm going to use the external cam just to make sure I am in the right area. And you can see here there's quite a long threshold here for the main runway of 06 and 24. That's mostly on this side to do with the tree line, and on the other side it's to do with a set of pylons close to the A1 road. Now, I've ridden on my bike many times on this road here, which is really good. Like I said, we're going to fly all the way over to Duxford. It's not a long flight at all on a plane, and it's approximately 45 to an hour drive. So here's the runway now, 06. We're in the threshold area, which is, as I mentioned, it's really long. We'll probably be off the ground before... we even reach the numbers of the runway. But anyway, we'll just get ourselves lined up now, and then we'll announce our takeoff. Our intentions are to take off due east.
Echo Golf Sierra Papa Traffic Cessna Golf Lima Uniform Kilo Echo taking off runway 06 departure to the east.
And we'll do a full power takeoff, again, mostly because we're on a grass runway. Airspeed is alive. 60 knots. And as I said, we'll rotate before we even get to the runway numbers. We'll just trim out the aircraft so it makes it a bit lighter for us. And that's a positive climb now, coming out east. And as I mentioned, there is a set of pylons here just by the A1 road. You can see the A1 road just there. And there's a set of pylons that you have to clear if you're going to do an approach into 2-4. So we're going to climb up now to about 1,000 feet. I'm going to make a slight right turn, just following the River Nene now, as you can see down below. And we'll just ease off on the power a little bit so we don't strain the engine too much. Got nice airspeed today. And the first place that we're coming over is the Ferry Meadows area, which is distinctive from the sky for the big lakes. Which you can see here. There's the River Nene just snaking its way, and here are the big lakes. Now I often come down, especially down to here. I mean, that building is really big compared to what it should be, but there's a nice little area there. There's a new car park here in this area now, which is also very nice. Great to use. Nice place to hang out, especially with the family. So there's Ferry Meadows and the big lakes. There's the main entrance just below us. And now we're heading towards the city centre. We're just going to ease off on the power a little bit more. Now I'm starting to see the rowing lake coming up just about there. I'm going to get the fuel pump off now. We're nicely up in the air. And you can see the rowing lake very clearly marked out. Going to start making a left bank there. You can see the rowing lake as I mentioned. We're going to go this way so we can see the city centre from our left side. We're flying a bit lower than I want to be really. I really want to be at about 1,000 feet. So I'll get the aircraft up. And one of the distinctive features of Peterborough perhaps is the railway. So you should be able to see the railway quite clearly from Flight Simulator. The cathedral is also another major landmark, being the tallest building in the area. However, I don't think we'll be able to see the cathedral on here because I don't think it's auto-generated in. Anyway, here's the city of Peterborough. I can see the railway. The railway station is there where my mouse is now. There's an Asda supermarket just here. There's the cathedral. Oh, beautiful. They've actually turned it into a church. Because on prior editions to the flight sim, the cathedral was just office buildings. So that's fantastic. We've got the Lido there, very famous Lido. It's about 80 years old now. It's one of the oldest in the country, I believe. And the cathedral is 900 years old, telling you the history of the area. Now I'm actually flying over the area where I grew up and where I was living for many years. Now we're heading north, and then I'm just going to loop back around. I'm going to turn back south and follow the railway down. Now it's a bit tricky because of the wind conditions today, but it's pretty typical for UK weather. You can even see the Lincoln Road from up here. And it is one of the things you can actually see quite clearly from the sky when I've done a little bit of flying in this area. Anyway, we're going to start to make a left bank again. And then we're going to go follow the railway, the East Coast Main Line, south. The East Coast Main Line being famous for the railway that runs from King's Cross Station in London all the way up to Edinburgh. It's really nice to fly on a simulator and actually recognise locations. You can see the Burj Boulevard, that's that main road down there. And the railway is directly below us, so we're just going to go slightly to the right hand side of the railway. And this is what I love about Flight Sim actually. You can really use it for virtual flying, using landmarks like rivers and railways and roads. So you can actually see the course of the East Coast Main Line, and you can also see how flat this area is. This big building here is supposed to be the Queensgate Shopping Centre. It's the main shopping centre in our city centre. And like I said, I'm so happy that the cathedral is now actually looking like a church, which is fantastic. It's about time. There's a railway just down there. It goes up towards Ely and Cambridge. However, it's not the most direct route down to Cambridge. Now, when you drive from here to Cambridge, you go on the A1 south towards the town of Huntingdon. Anyway, we're going to check into Conington. We're going to land on runway. We're going to make an announcement because Conington is on our 12 o'clock. We're going to just do a touch and go. We'll probably end up using runway 10 for that. So we'll announce a touch and go. First we'll announce our position.
Echo Golf Sierra Foxtrot traffic Cessna Golf Lima Uniform Kilo Echo 5 miles north.
Now we're flying over the Hampton area of Peterborough, still following the course of the East Coast Main Line just down there. That's Cardia and Stanground in there. This is the village of Facet. You see, I can easily recognise places, and we're just coming over Yaxley now, which means we're only a short way away. Very close to Conington, by the way. Fun fact is the the lowest point of the United Kingdom. The lowest point of the United Kingdom is below sea level. And it's in amongst this forest over here called Home Fen. So we're going to make a right turn in just a moment because I can see the runway ahead of me. And then we'll use the A1 for reference as well. And we'll make our announcements as well. So we're turning onto our downwind base now. Now this runway here is a paved runway.
Echo Golf Sierra Foxtrot traffic Cessna Golf Lima Uniform Kilo Echo is on downwind runway 10.
And we're coming up to the town of Stilton. Believe it or not, it is famous for the Stilton cheese, the Stilton blue cheese, if you know what the Stilton blue cheese is. Even though nowadays it's made in the town of Melton Mowbray. There's the A1M just below us. Just keep our altitude up if we can, close to 1,000 feet. We'll make our turn base. We'll announce it.
Echo Golf Sierra Foxtrot traffic Cessna Golf Lima Uniform Kilo Echo is on base runway 10.
We'll try to hold 1,000 feet. Now topography in this area is starting to go up in this sort of area. And we're just going to use our flaps towards the end of our turn. Now there's the runway. And then we'll announce final as well. Just now.
Echo Golf Sierra Foxtrot traffic Cessna Golf Lima
and we'll
Uniform
get the
Kilo Echo is on final runway 10 touch and go left traffic.
runway's in sight. There's a big paved area in front which we can't use, but we'll just do a touch and go, and then we'll head due south towards Huntingdon, and then we'll follow the course down towards Cambridge on the A14. They got VAPI lights here. I don't know if they do in real life. I've never flown into this airfield in real life, so I'm not really too sure if they got the lights there. We'll go flaps to 2. The wind is really tough today. We'll just try to hit the numbers if we can. There we go, nice touchdown. Gonna bring flaps up to 1. See the windsock there, and then full power for our takeoff, and the aircraft wants to go up straight away. Whee! There you go. And we're positive climb again. Climb up to about 1,200 feet. And that will be it. For Conington, and then we'll start to make a right turn now. We'll go rejoin the A1. Let the aircraft climb up. East Coast Main Line is visible now. Flaps coming up. Flaps up. Keep the aircraft climbing a bit more as we fly away. Conington's just there to our 3 o'clock position. Nice touch and go there. Got a nice little tailwind pushing us now. Town of Sawtry coming up to our right hand side now. Couldn't tell you much info about the town of Sawtry really. We're at 1100 feet. Just bring the engine back a little bit so it doesn't strain too much. That's quite a big freeze. Then we're at 1300 feet. Let's try to level off the aircraft. A1 is in sight to our right hand side again. Let's not descend the aircraft. That big stutter got us there. And we're going to approach a disused airfield now, formerly a US air base. I believe the US air base is still there. However, the airfield itself is no longer in use. And it's RAF Alconbury, which is just to the north of Huntingdon. So we're going to make a slight left turn so we can join the course of the A1M. A1 being the main arterial route from London to Edinburgh, and the M telling us it's also a motorway section. It's one of the shortest motorway, well, one of the most pointless motorway sections on the A1, and it is a shame. But that is what it is. There's a really good video about this section of the A1M by Auto Shenanigans on YouTube, which I urge you to go check out because quite an interesting info that I did not know about this this road, which has appeared on that video. Anyway, we're now approaching the town of Huntingdon. I can see the A1M down there, very familiar with the A1M, especially this section. And you can see the old runway of Alconbury there. And the original course of the A14. We're going to go slightly further south and see if the map has the most up-to-date adaptation of the A14. If it doesn't, then we'll just turn and join the original course. We're being battered by the winds again, but that's alright. I think I can actually see the new course of the A14. I can even see the race course here at Huntingdon. Just coming up there. And then we're going to go follow the A14 towards Cambridge. Then the M11 will take us all the way to Duxford. Got the aircraft somewhat stable at about 1400 feet. We're not overstraining the aircraft either. Again, we can see the race course there, Huntingdon's race course, just here. Huntingdon town over there. Couldn't really tell you much else about the town. We're now coming over the new section of the A14, which is, this is a really nice, really nice junction, high speed, in the direction that we're flying in. I think the last time I did a VFR flight like this was still a construction site according to the maps, but this is now completed, which is nice. So we're just going to follow the new A14 course. I'm holding a nice speed there as well. Now this A14 new course has been very controversial, mostly due to the construction practices involved with the construction, which have been a little bit questionable, and there has been some issues. It's only opened in the last, I think, when did it open? Maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And when it opened, there was already question marks about its longevity because of the concrete used for the construction. This bridge that you can see down below, which goes over the Great River Ouse and over the East Coast Main Line. has had some issues with its structure, and I know at one point driving on it, I think it was last year, they closed one lane going in the westbound direction because of some structural issues, and I believe there are some more bridges along this course that have structural issues, even though this road has only been open for a matter of a few years. And it looks like this is going to be something that's going to be quite common here in the UK as they cut costs on construction. And I believe it's also the reason why we have a lot of issues on the railway these days. There's too much red tape in the way, and it's causing a lot of issues in regards to construction and obviously longevity, especially as companies try to source the cheapest materials possible, which is a bit of a shame really, but you know, it is what it is. Flight Sim doing its work, giving me nice lighting conditions, which I really do love. We're also now passing God Manchester, the town just to the south of Huntingdon. Now we're following the A14 on its new course, which I'm glad it's in the sim. Now this section of the A14 was meant to be built as a motorway. In fact, it's laid out exactly like one of the new smart motorways here in the UK. Unfortunately for the construction and local authorities, the motorway status was never given. If there was a motorway, or should I say if it was motorway status, you could then theoretically drive all the way from Peterborough to London, East London, on motorway, because you could drive A1M, which is classified as a motorway, onto the A14M, which would be this section up to Cambridge where it joins the M11, and then on the M11, motorway 11, down towards London into East London. I wonder, we should be able to see RAF Witton from here as well. Yes, you can. RAF Witton is over there. It's the home of the Magpass Air Ambulance. Magpass Air Ambulance. Magpass is actually a charity who provide air ambulance service in the east of England. Now, I've seen their helicopters many a time, especially living very close to the Peterborough City Hospital. So the course of the new A14 now, as we pass the town of, I think that is St Ives, I'm not too sure. It starts to slowly join the old course of the A14, which I don't know if you can see very well from the window, but you can see the new course of the A14, the old course of the A14. And they're going to join together here. Now we're going to make a right turn now as well. And we're getting very close to Cambridge. Once you see the formation of the old and the new A14 coming together, you know that you're really, really close to Cambridge, and we'll be flying shortly over the new Cambridge services. In fact, this is the new Cambridge services that we're flying over right now, which I've stopped in a few times now, just down there. Now I'm starting to see the city of Cambridge coming up ahead of us, mostly because of the photogrammetry, which for me occasionally appears quite jagged as it does right now. Now we need to check with... no, it's still okay. I was going to say we need to check in on the air traffic control, because I think On the sim, the area around Cambridge might be classified as a Bravo airspace, which would require permission the way that we're flying anyway. It doesn't look like there is, and I'm not too sure where the boundary marker would be. So we'll just maintain our flight, and we'll keep an eye out for any aircraft going into and out of Cambridge. Now we're approaching the junction where the A14 turns off towards the east, and the road that continues is then classified as the M11. But just be careful, because I can actually see some lights of an aircraft ahead of us as well. So what I might do actually is request flight following
Cambridge approach
with
Cessna
Cambridge.
Golf Lima Uniform Kilo Echo is type Cessna Skyhawk 4 miles east of Echo Golf Sierra, November 1,100 feet. Request flight following.
Cessna Golf Lima Uniform Kilo Echo Cambridge approach. Squawk 7154. Cessna Uniform
Yeah, they
Kilo
got
Echo
us.
radar contact 4 miles west of Cambridge, 1,100 feet. QNH tree 0.15.
Roger, Cessna Uniform Kilo Echo.
So we're gonna fly towards the Cambridge city centre, although we're being very heavily battered by the winds, and then we'll fly south towards Duxford. There's an aircraft at our 12 o'clock position. I'm just gonna zoom forwards. And as I mentioned about the photogrammetry, it sometimes comes up quite jagged for me. I don't know if that's a memory problem or a graphics problem, not really too sure. But you can start to see the colleges here of Cambridge. Beautiful, isn't it? There's the River Cam, which I've done a punting ride on there before. Most of the punts actually go from this area down here. You can see Parker's Piece, which is where football was actually, or the rules of football was actually invented, and they got a Sabutio model there. At least they did the last time I was there. You can now see the Cambridge train station coming up to my left hand side as well. There it is, Cambridge train station. So that means I'm going to make a right turn now, which will take us directly over Addenbrooke's, and there's the airport. Luckily there's nothing flying in our way, so we were able to cross with no conflict to anybody. It's one of the reasons why I decided to do the flight following, because at least then they can tell us what to do. Now we're flying directly over Addenbrooke's Hospital, and we're now going to head directly to Duxford, which is actually right at our 12 o'clock position. I can see the hangars already. So we're going to check into Duxford's air traffic control, and we're going to request for a full stop landing.
Tower Cessna Golf Lima Uniform Kilo Echo 5 miles north, 1,200 feet to land.
Cessna Golf Lima Uniform Kilo Echo Tower. QNH tree 0.151071 at 5. Enter left downwind runway 06 left.
06 left. That is the grass runway. You know what? Let's do it. We'll do the
Take
grass
left
runway.
downwind runway 06 left, Cessna Uniform Kilo Echo.
So 1,300 feet. Aircraft's still good. T's and P's are good. Right, that was quite a nice flight despite the heavy winds. So now we're going to make base turn in just a moment into Duxford. Like I say, I was just in Duxford a few days prior to this recording, I thought I'd made this video because I just had a really nice time over there with my daughter and myself. Just a really nice day out. And it reminded me of my love for aviation, you know. And seeing how excited my daughter was for the trip, just it eats into my heart. I love the place, and it was nice to have gone there for the first time in a good number of years. So runways in sight, both runways. We're not using the paved runway today, we are using the grass runway. So we're just going to get our airspeed down so we can start applying the flaps. And then importantly, we're going to get the fuel pump on as well. I should have done that during my touch and go in case we need to demand for some more fuel for a go around. Get the aircraft down a bit further. We'll use the flaps as well so we don't go too fast. Flaps to 1. Let's start our lineup now for runway 06 left. I can't actually see where 06 left actually is. But it's definitely on the grass because the main runway is 06, so it'll be on the grass area, which is fine. Actually, I think I can just about make out the numbers just there. Flaps to 2. Just get the airspeed down a bit as well because we're going a bit fast. 80 knots, we'll hold 80 knots. Flaps full. 06 left, numbers are in sight. Altitude good. Speed is not too bad as well. Nice little flare. Touchdown, beautiful. Not too hard, not too soft. The aircraft is slowing down nicely on its own. Use a bit of toe brakes just to get the aircraft down a bit slower. Then we'll make a left turn towards the museum. Flaps are coming up. Fuel pump can come off now. Landing light off. Strobe off.
One 121.605 Cessna Uniform Kilo Echo. Goodbye.
I wonder if the GSX service would be available for this. Northeast parking, east parking, parking south. If I was to do... I'm not really too sure what the parking layout is here. But you know what I'll do actually? Because as I observed yesterday, there were planes parked on this side, there were planes parked on the other side. So what I'll do is I'll pick a happy medium. Should be around the area of the classic flight, and we'll have a little wander around the museum while we're here. There's the fire service. They have a nice fire truck actually. When we were there, I noticed there's a really nice fire truck. Get the taxi light off, we don't need it. And then we'll stop somewhere in front of these lovely airliners here. The classic Wings flights would be operating from this area here where their little hut is. The layout is slightly different on here than it is at the moment. Some of the aircraft are in different places. And in fact, the Comet, which is normally inside the first hangar, is sitting out here at the moment as well. We're just going to make a U-turn. Come on. Because they normally park facing away from the museum. Why is the aircraft not turning? Oh, we're going to hit the fence. Yes, we've gone through the fence a little bit. But that's alright. We'll just turn the aircraft so we're facing away from the museum. And we'll just stop in this position here. Set the parking brake. Cut the mixture. And off the fuel pump. Get the avionics off. Beacon light off. And the battery can come off as well. Magnetos can come off also. So there we have it. That was a nice little flight on the Cessna 172. The classic 172 Skyhawk. From Peterborough Simpson Airfield all the way to Duxford. With a quick touch and go at Conington, Peterborough as well. Interestingly, most of the aircraft on display were actually closed, unfortunately. We did get to go into this lovely aircraft, the BAE 146, known as CC2 Statesman. It's a VIP transport, previously for the Queen, our late Queen, which my daughter had the opportunity to sit in the same seat that she would normally sit in on the aircraft. We got to see the Comet 4 inside and also the Concorde, the world's fastest Concorde. This scenery is absolutely brilliant. This is freeware. My favourite British airliner in their collection, well, I've got two, and it would be the VC-10, which is this one here, and the BAC 111. I do actually like the BAE 146. I didn't realise how small it actually was until I went into it. This is nice over here. I didn't actually go into this area, but there was actually two Spitfires here. There is one here in this RAF Randall here. And then there was another Spitfire parked in front there as well, which was really nice to see. It's always nice to see Spitfires. And there was a Hurricane actually flying around a few times. Where this is that a Spitfire or a Hurricane? It looks like a Hurricane actually. Yeah, no, it's a Spitfire. Where this Spitfire is parked is actually where the Statesman was. Where the Statesman is on here, this is also where the Comet 4 was parked. And then we walk down here. You've got the air traffic control center. I love this, like, scenery is fantastic, especially with fresh memory that I've just been here recently. This is a fantastic fantastic scenery, and it's absolutely available for free on the Flight Sim TO website. Anyway, these hangars, these are the working hangars, so this is where the aircraft that actually still fly operate from. And what I like about it is that there is an interior, so you could actually realistically put a nice little aircraft in here for yourself anyway. So yeah, they got the tools in here. You can actually have a look in here. I did not go into this hangar, unfortunately. My daughter had other ideas at hand. And then this is the main area with the play area. This is the old play area, because they have a brand new play area which encompasses almost this entire grassy area, and is actually fantastic and gets all the kids very much involved. It's not too bad. We were lucky that there was plenty of aircraft activities. In fact, there was a couple of planes that came from outside of the UK as well, little private aircraft. Like there was a Cirrus 22, SR 22, with a Norwegian Norwegian registration. There was, I think there was it was either a Bonanza or a Piper with from Germany, and there was even an aircraft that came up from what's the place, the Netherlands as well. This is the first hangar here, airspace. Nothing inside, unfortunately. The only interior was the one we already went into, and then we got the main car park and visitors entrance just over here. So yeah, anyway, that has been an interesting little VFR flight, which I don't really do on this channel, but it was nice to show you what kind of knowledge I have with the local area, and come to this beautiful museum here in Duxford near Cambridge. I'm just going to hit number 5. It's going to send us very quickly back to the aircraft, and we've parked lovely outside of the different British airliners that are around, from the Ambassador to the Trilander, which was interesting to see. I've never seen a Trilander before, so that was nice to see when I was there. The Albany Trilander. Yeah. So anyway, thank you for joining me here, and I hope that I can catch you on another video soon. And I bid you adieu and farewell. Bye bye.